season ticket holder Bob Pollard of Durham, New Hampshire, who passed away on August 26th. He was a member of the Knights, the Round Table, Forest Staple, and the UNH Coaches Show each season. Bob was a fan in Section 108 who was known for yelling, "Shoot!" whenever UNH players had the puck. Fans, we ask that you join us in a moment of silence as we honor Bob. Thank you. And now, fans, we ask that you remain standing and remove your caps as we honor America and all who defend her with a presentation of the colors tonight, presented by the Stratton Fire Department. And we now present special guests from the Stratton Cooperative Middle School who are here tonight for the singing of our national anthem.
Welcome to the Whittemore Center in Durham, New Hampshire. It is UNH Hockey on YouTube. I am Brendan Glassheen. Thanks for joining us tonight. The New Hampshire Wildcats and Vermont Catamounts open up Hockey East play. The Wildcats enter the home opener at 0-3-1. All of those contests on the road at Colgate and Colorado College, while the Vermont Catamounts enter action tonight with a 1-1 record, their lone win of the season. The opener at number 4, Michigan, a 5-2 win. Let's get to the starting lineups. First for the visiting Catamounts, their starting line of forwards: Matt Alvaro, Liam Coughlin, Alex Esposito, the defenseman, Jake Massey and Matt O'Donnell. Stefanos Selekis is in net. And for the Wildcats, Angus Cruikshank, Marcus Vela, and Patrick Grasso are the forwards. Anthony Wise and Benton Mass, the defensive pair, and Mike Robinson is in net. We are underway in Durham. Wildcats shooting on the right side of the big sheet, and Vermont to your left. Coughlin spirals in this high slot, and circles back looking for Alvaro in the corner. Hockey East opener for both of these squads, picked towards the bottom of the Hockey East preseason poll. New Hampshire 9 and Vermont 10 out of the total 11 teams in the conference. Benton Nash jumps on the puck, the sophomore, who saw a lot of action a year ago. Washington Capitals 6th round pick. Here comes Marcus Vella, the captain, who scrapes one just off the left post.
Thank you to our day sponsor, Medtronic.
The Wildcats are led by first-year head coach Mike Souza, who has spent the last 3 years as the New Hampshire associate head coach, taking over for the long-tenured Dick Umilling. Souza in the past worked a long time with defensemen and on the power play formations. He spent 2 years at UConn under Mike Cavanaugh, 2 years at Brown under Brandon Whittemore. Before coming to Durham just a few years ago, he is now the head coach. And for the Catamounts, in his 16th season, Kevin Sneddon, who has more than 230 wins in his Catamounts career as head coach. We're a minute in, no score. Wildcat fans in attendance behind the white goal. Pass gets squeezed beneath the goal line, and it's swerved up ice to Michael Esposito, and he runs out of room. There's Aaron Azarian's first touch of the puck on the ice. The senior from Boxford, Massachusetts. Minute 20 in, icing called, so back into New Hampshire's zone. Impressive win for Vermont over number 4 Michigan to open up the year. A loss to Quinnipiac evens out the record for UVM at 1-1 on the season. At mid-ice, Bryce Misley, a sophomore from Toronto, gets held up. The left-hander shoots a pass to the right side, collected by the defenseman Andrew Petrillo. Ryan Verrier trying to poke it away, one of many freshmen on the roster for the Wildcats, dumping off a handful of seniors at the end of last year. Here comes Michael Esposito, stops on the brakes as he's covered up in the far side corner. 2 minutes gone by, one shot for the Wildcats, none for the visiting Catamounts. It's the Hockey East opener for both squads, and a whistle out of that pylon. Andrew Petrillo pulls away with the puck. Last season, UNH was 6-10-2 at the Whittemore Center, their home floor. New Hampshire had a red-hot start to the season last year, entertaining Colorado College and Colgate at home. Started at 5-0-1, and in the second half of the season in 2018, overall 1-11-5. First look at the Wildcats on the power play here at home. So far this year, UNH on the power play, 2 for 10 for 20%. Corey Moriarty, the defenseman, in the penalty box for UVM. Connor O'Neill swerves over to grab the puck, and UNH can set up. Pearson flings to the middle of the ice. Another dunk to Pearson, the freshman from Indianapolis. Runs into a wall, now at the top. Pass collected by Charlie Kelleher. Max Gildon swings it. Now the cross-ice pass shot, Kelleher, and stop Leckis. Still 1:05 to go in this power play for UNH. Kelleher trying to rip it out of the corner. Cross-ice pass collected, Pearson, Gildon on the puck, shot, save again, Leckis. It sails into the net by the Wildcats student section. Still 16:43 on this first period clock, and 52 seconds to go on the power play. Vermont so far this season .75% penalty kill percentage. Power play dwindles now to 35 seconds. Vela gets smashed up along the boards. As Liam Blackburn cuts in, now finds Cruikshank. Dump back to the freshman in the right circle. Cruikshank fires and it's deflected back out right where he was on the shot. Vela resurfaces, now 15 on the power play. Cross ice now in front. Almost an opportunity for Pearson. And Vela leaves the ice. Catamounts kill the power play chance. And both teams are back to full strength. Joe Sacco collects, zooms over the blue line, almost bounces to the left side of the post. Chris Miller tied up. Back comes Vermont right to left. Vlad Gishafli with the movement on the puck. He's number 10. Gishafli has pressure coming up from behind, and it's stripped by New Hampshire. Blackburn making a cut. And Eric McAdams lost his footing. Back up ice, the Catamounts. Martin Frechette from Rockland, Ontario. Gio Shafiri centers up the puck, wide for Robinson. Still no shots on goal here for the Catamounts, 2 for the Wildcats of New Hampshire. Here comes a new skater onto the ice. It's Esposito, tied up in front, last touched by UVM's Alvaro. Now in the bottom corner. On the left side of the big sheet, the Wildcats work it back left to right. And they'll shoot one into the board. Bella tied up. Poked along the boards by the Catamounts. They make a line change. Getting used to this big sheet for some of these younger players is something we'll see be experimented over these first couple of games as we have icing, or rather offsides. 13:54 to go in the first, still no score. UVM and UNH. Hockey East opener. Catamounts coming off a 3-2 loss to the Quinnipiac Bobcats. Averaging 3.5 goals per game through 2 games on the season. A power play percentage of 16.7, 1 for 6 on the year. Patrick Grasso, who was injured part of last season, good to get him back in the lineup. Grasso had just 2 goals after a 20-goal season a few years ago. Collected by Carter Long. He's number 2 in the green. Catamounts back up ice. New Hampshire trickles back defensively. Nice sweep through by Puffer. Craig Puffer, number 17, the senior left-handed forward from New Canaan, Connecticut. Hard hit by Vela. Grasso right behind him. Wildcats track down, and Gildon gloves it to Benton Mass on the far side. Rather, it's Cruikshank on the far side of the ice. Offsides as the officials get together. Referees for tonight: Thomas Fryer, Walker Horton, linesman Jeremy Lovett, and AJ Potvin. As we are 7 minutes deep into this first period. Underneath the goal, Van Riemsdyk looking to pluck the puck out. Instead, it's gathered by Lodermeyer. And Matt O'Donnell getting involved as well. O'Donnell, one of 3 captains for the Catamounts, including Matt Alvaro, the forward, and Derek Lodermeyer on the 4th line of forwards. New Hampshire shows urgency up the ice. Here comes the talented junior Anthony Wise, who had 5 goals last season. This year, Wise still trying to find his stride. No points through 4 games. Poke down to Gildon. He leads the team with 6 points through 4 games this season. Over mid-ice, Max Kaufman. Stripped by Gildon. Numbers for the Wildcats as McAdams catches the crisp pass and a shot. Loose in front. The follow-up is batted away. Catamounts defense with numerous blocks. They were one of the best teams in blocks last year. On the break, Robinson with the stop as he comes out of the blue area. Transition for the Wildcats again up the big sheet here at the Whittemore Center. Still loose in front as the Wildcats look for another stop and a shot rather on the doorstep. And we have a whistle on the left side of the ice.
Hey fans, check out our video board here. We would like to see your elegant smile. Take a picture of you and your group enjoying tonight's game.
Offsides is the call. 9 minutes into this first period. Thanks for joining us tonight from the Whittemore Center in Durham, New Hampshire. It is the Hockey East opener for both New Hampshire and Vermont. Both squads coming in with a 500 or below record. Swept inside, Kelleher cut in, and once again the Catamounts block the puck out to mid-ice. An aggressive move on the angle by Kaufman. Stuffed in the corner. Re-racked by Kelleher. Weaves it up ice to Era Nazarian, who was a mainstay as far as goal scoring last year for the Wildcats with 9 goals. That is the most of any returning player. Moves it on from the fans as that puck almost skittered off the pipe and in. Liam Coughlin in the top line forwards for the Catamounts back up ice as Wise strips it. 5 shots for New Hampshire, just 2 for UVM. Kelleher with the strip, sends up to Vela, and offsides. There was an opening down that left lane for the New Hampshire captain. One of the things that Mike Souza says about number 17 as he gets a talking to from tonight's head official, Thomas Fryer. Mike Souza, first-year head coach. He loves the work ethic on and off the ice of Marcus Vela. He has terrific practice habits. He calls him a 200-foot player, meaning no matter where he is on the ice, for any bit of time he is on the floor, he gives his max effort up and down. The defensive forward and center to start today as he loops around the goal. And pushed out by the Catamounts. Puffer involved again. He's a defensive forward for UVM. Well, on the near side board in front of the Catamounts bench, it's pushed out by Jake Massey. And offsides UVM. The blue line to our left. 9:24 on the clock. We have ourselves a break on the ice for both teams. We've mentioned how this is Mike Souza's first year as head coach. Very excited to be here, married to Kelly Souza, member of the Boston College Varsity Club Hall of Fame. 2002 Boston College grad, but the Souza family now lives in Portsmouth. Mike, formerly of Wakefield, Massachusetts, inducted into the Wakefield High School Hall of Fame. back in 2009. And elation, anxiety, getting that label as head coach has been something Coach Souza has dreamed of. He's certainly known about it for quite a bit when you think back to when Dick Umili announced he would retire at the end of last season. Coach Souza appointed as the new head coach, and Dick Umili, after 28 years, 596 career wins, a 6-time Hockey East Coach of the Year, 4-time New England Coach of the Year. Appeared in 2 national title games, 4 Frozen Fours, captured 8 Hockey East regular season titles, and 2 Hockey East titles. Mike Souza formerly playing for Dick Umili from 1996 to 2000. Now he is the head coach, hoping his Wildcats can get their first Hockey East win of the 2018-19 campaign. Out of the timeout, Esposito is barreled along the board and then nipped out by Frechette, and it falls into the seats. 8:56 to go in the first. Frechette from Rockland, Ontario. 1 goal so far this year. He exits the ice. Puffer knocks it away, sends up ice. Here comes Petrillo. The defenseman zips a pass in. Collected by Vermont. Puffer actually is still on the ice. A different player left the floor. And left to right, New Hampshire fired on aimlessly by Liam Blackburn. Misspoke a moment ago. Blackburn actually the returning leading goal scorer from last year. 11 goals for the junior from Prince George, British Columbia. Formerly of the West Kelowna Warriors of the BCHL. Led them to the Royal Bank Cup before his arrival in Durham, New Hampshire with the Wildcats. Still no score, opening period coming up on 8 minutes left in the first stanza in Durham. A lot of excitement in the building. Home opener for the Wildcats, never mind their Hockey East opener. Here's a freshman, Jackson Pearson of Culver Military Academy. Tied up in the corner, spins out of traffic. Aaron Azarian looking to tightrope the goal line. Skates into a puzzle as Kaufman pushed it out. Max Kaufman, a sophomore forward from Rochester, New York for Vermont. Here's Lodemeyer. They'll just push it into New Hampshire's zone. A line change for the Catamounts. Through the ice off the deflection. Gildon feeds it in underneath. Puck trips out into the right circle. Catamounts push it again right to left. They've been decent in transition, but no solid shots. Still just 3 to New Hampshire's 5. The follow-up score, Alex Esposito. He scored a goal last year in Durham, and he stuffs one in to put the Catamounts up 1-0. Esposito with the team high 3 goals now on the season for Vermont. The sophomore from West Haven, Connecticut, class of 2021. We've said the name Esposito on the New Hampshire side as well. That's because freshman Michael Esposito making his Durham debut There's a freshman for the Wildcats. Both brothers, Alex and Michael, spent time in the USHL for the Youngstown Phantoms. Their time crossed over together, except, of course, Michael spent one extra year with that squad, while Alex traveled to Burlington for his freshman year a year ago with Vermont. 1-0 Catamounts, 6:15 to go in the opening period. Underneath, 2 Wildcats, 2 Catamounts. It's eventually poked out. Through mid-ice, Kohei Sato jumps on it, who was a mid-season pickup a year ago for the Wildcats. Sato from Nishi-Tokyo, Japan, competed in the NAHL, the Northeast team, in his sophomore season at the University of New Hampshire. Catamounts with 4 shots. They connect on their 4th one of the night. UNH still out shooting Vermont 5-4. Buried in the corner, tapped to the goal line. Zung back underneath by Eric McAdams. Blackburn hanging out in the dirty area. Retraced by McAdams, also Joe Sacco in there battling for it. And pushed out by Cowens. Ace Cowens is drilled. Wildcats go into transition mode as Benton Mass slurves it up the floor. Nice move through the D by Nazarian. Stripped by Vermont. And it's gathered up the other end by O'Neill. He fires on, and Mike Robinson reels it in. Robinson with his 4th save.
Welcome to 90561 for a chance to win a prize package from our local business partners, Able Sports, Cisco Brewers, Domino's, Tri-City.
1 goal allowed, of course. It went to Alex Esposito. The 3rd of the season, his 13th of his career in 38 games with Vermont. Christian Evers, number 5, he is 6'3" on the Vermont side, repping those forest green uniforms. Evers has the puck fall right back in his lap. Carter Long facing up on the Wildcats underneath. This is Kelleher. Gildon, he has a big frame as well, faced up by Connor O'Neill. Gildon lost grasp of the puck. Pushed out, Aaron Nazarian almost stuffed one in the bottom right pocket. Now the feed back, it's pushed in. That second play was initiated by Will McKinnon, freshman from Plymouth, Michigan. Wildcats just couldn't convert. After the save by Lekis, face-off won by the Catamounts. Wildcats almost strip the puck in transition. They do so in the corner. Vela is sandwiched. And back the other way, Liam Coughlin and Vermont with under 3 minutes to go in the opening period. Corey Moriarty initiates offense for the Catamounts. Dropped off underneath, a pass swerving middle intended for Matt O'Donnell. And Vermont can reset. After the offsides, play resumes. 2:25 to go in the opening period in Durham. Hockey East opener for both Vermont and New Hampshire. Tight move through the legs there by Martin Frichette. Runs into a few Wildcats along the blue line as McAdams comes in to size off his man. Robinson's been busy these last handful of minutes after the Alex Esposito goal. Wildcats have been a bit tentative on the offensive end. They have created transition. As Jake Massey almost got bulldozed from behind. After the icing call, we go back into the New Hampshire zone. Blackburn against Puffer on the faceoff. Tilts right into Benton, Mass. Catamounts hectic to come back with it is Johnny DeRoche. Leans on the puck. Van Weemsdyk has it come right to him. Wildcats looking to push out of their own zone. Mass surveys. Up to McAdams. DeRoche almost trips him. Collins toying for it now as Van Weemsdyk reaches in. Anthony Wise collects. Minute to go in the opening period. In transition, Aaron Azarian.
1 minute.
Lost the handle on the puck. Wildcats nearly regather. The lone goal of the game so far belongs to Alex Esposito, sophomore forward for Vermont. His third of the season, 13th of his career. Matt O'Donnell, one of the captains for the Catamounts, formerly of the Jersey Hitmen of the USPHL. Hometown, Fountain Valley, California. Another leaning opportunity. Here comes Massey in transition. Massey makes his move, and it's followed up. Score for Vermont. Joey Cipollone puts it home. And it's 2-0 Catamounts. Joey Cipollone's second goal of 2018. The second of his career in 3 games played. And the Purchase, New York freshman puts the Catamounts ahead 2-0 with 19.1 seconds on the first period clock.
The play is under review.
And now the play is under review. Once again, our crew for tonight, referees Thomas Flyer and Walker Horton, linesmen Jeremy Lovett and A.J. Potvin. Fryer and Horton skate to the far side of the ice. And we'll get a look. At the moment, 2-0 Catamounts. Esposito and Cipollone, the goal scorers. Ruling on the ice stands. The goal stands for Vermont. The lead is 2-0. You have to be impressed with Vermont so far tonight. Coming off a bye week after that impressive win over Michigan to open up the year, and then of course falling to Quinnipiac at home. Catamounts got to be feeling good coming into play tonight. Final seconds of the opening period run out. 2 goals for Vermont. Alex Esposito with his 3rd of the season, and Joey Cipolo with his 2nd of the year. Through 20 minutes of play, Vermont 2, UNH nothing. We'll be back for the 2nd period. Welcome back to the Whittemore Center for the start of the second period between the New Hampshire Wildcats and Vermont Catamounts. My name is Brendan Glashy. Thanks for joining us on YouTube tonight. Catamounts with 2 goals in that opening period from Alex Esposito, and Joey Cipollone. Scored a goal in the final 20 seconds as we are underway in period number 2. And we have our first icing call of the second period. In that first period, each team had 7 shots. UNH had 1 power play opportunity early in the period. Esposito's goal assisted by Liam Coughlin, both on the top line. Coughlin from South Boston, Massachusetts. And on Cipollone's goal, Jake Massey with the assist. He is a junior from Quebec. Icing called again, 19:04 to go in the second. Hockey East opener for both of these programs. Up along the board, pushed away by UVM. Wildcats collapse on it in the neutral zone. The freshman, Jackson Pearson, shoves it underneath the goal, attempting to pass it to the cross side of the ice. And on the cross, it's knocked away by Vermont. Another block to the middle of that lane. And in the circle, pushed out by Lodemeyer, the captain from Brooklyn Center, Minneapolis, rather. 90 seconds and some into the second. Along the far side corner. Vermont back the other way. Giashvili up the near board. Races forward after losing it on the deflection as Van Riemsdyk rushes out to center ice. And a whistle right along the penalty box side. Once again, our crew for tonight, referee is Thomas Fryer. The other referee, Walker Horton. And the linesmen, Jeremy Lovett and A.J. Potvin. Giashvili has been active for the Catamounts. While he has not scored yet, he does have an assist in this contest today. After the offside, a face-off in the neutral area. Won by Vermont's Martin Frechette. The sophomore has a goal in 4 career games. He played in just 2 last year as a freshman. Benton Mass sticks out the stick. Puck wanders along the board by the Geico sign, and a whistle along the blue line once more. Another neutral ice face-off. O'Donnell shoves it in underneath. On the rebound from atop the left wing circle, that's DeRoche. Cruikshank with the cross ice pass for the Wildcats. Down into Vermont's zone. Puffer jumps on the puck. And as it sails by the UVM bench, Gildon collects, but he lost the handle. Puffer zigzags along the end line. Cruikshank now pushes up ice. Wildcats have numbers 3-on-2. Grasso has his man miss into the left wing circle. Dump underneath to Cruikshank. Cruikshank dumping underneath. He shoots and it fires wide. Cruikshank has it back in the left wing circle. Vela through the middle. Puck sails up in the air and leaned on by Puffer and the Catamounts. One of the things Vermont was very talented at last year was blocks. They were nationally ranked in the top 5, right with Penn State last year for best in the country. So while they struggled to score the puck, both teams have in recent memory. Vermont averaging 3.5 goals through 2 games this year, and New Hampshire averaging 2 goals per game in 4 games so far this year. Defensively, both teams with a lot of talent. When you consider Massey and O'Donnell for Vermont, both returning. O'Donnell is a captain as a junior. And the Wildcats have a defenseman player of the year candidate in Max Gildon in the conference from Plano, Texas. They have a lot going on here defensively, both squads. Benton Mass last to touch it for New Hampshire. Vermont leaps on it mid-ice. Carter Long, the defenseman, sweeps it to the far corner. Falls right in the lap of Kohei Sato. Sato with the pass middle, centering up his man in the middle, Chris Miller, who is a senior this year from Windham, New Hampshire. Nearly 5 minutes into the second. Miller just whistles one, almost clips the official. Bounces off the back of the board beneath the goal line. Esposito, the freshman, leaves the ice. A new line spills on for the Wildcats. Back the other way for Vermont. Alex Esposito, the older brother of Mike Esposito, both opposition tonight. Here comes Alex Esposito. Cleared out by Ryan Verrier, freshman from Reading, Massachusetts. On the cut-in by Lodermeyer. Cipollone, who has a goal today, almost loosed in front. Mike Robinson has allowed both New Hampshire goals as we are 5 minutes and change into the second period. A whistle from up top, just outside the Vermont bench. There is offside, so we go to mid-ice. Look at this youngster out on the board. He is dressed as a Zamboni. That is something. He's got the Wildcats mascot riding in the back seat. And the youngster is in shotgun. Love to see that. Halloween spirit here at the Whittemore Center in Durham for this home opener for the Wildcats. It's also the Hockey East opener for both these programs, Vermont and UNH. Catamounts put the pressure on and get the puck out of the Wildcats' grasp. As up ice, Martin Frechette has it stripped. And speeding ahead, Sacco. Jammed in the corner. Sacco trying to help out Eric McAdams. That line still trying to gain some chemistry. Sacco, McAdams, and Liam Blackburn. Blackburn scored 11 goals last year to lead the team as far as returning skaters. Cruikshanks. Backpedaling, sandwiched by a pair of Catamounts. That includes Bryce Nisley, who throws the hands at Vela. Scooters through, and Grasso has to retrace on it, and Vermont looks to transition. 12:40 to go in the second. 2-0 Catamounts, both of their goals in the first period from Joey Cipollone and Alex Esposito. Nice dive on defense. There's an opening in the middle. Shot blocked by Vermont. Benton Mass right in there, had a big opening, centered up the puck nicely. Cruikshank jumps out, nicely done by Lekis to bat the puck out. Along the near side board, Grasso makes a zigzag move, now loose in front. Vela was in that right spot, but it sails and floats over his head, back the other way. A hard hit by Richard Boyd, the senior from Delray Beach, Florida, with a nice hit of the shoulder along the wall. Vermont in New Hampshire zone. O'Donnell on the right side. Just one penalty in this game. It came in the opening minutes of the first period against the Catamounts. Dumped in there by Jake Massey. Nice loop, popped up top, shot wide, DeRoche. And we get a whistle.
UNH students and alumni give your instantly issued service credit union debit Visa card at any service credit union branch or online and get access to online banking and mobile apps with remote check deposit. Visit our online ATMs at the UNH Fieldhouse, the WIC, and
icing was the call. 11:26 to go in the second. A new era for New Hampshire hockey with Mike Souza in his first year as the head coach. Hoping to get his team off to a good start. They'll have to do it in come-from-behind fashion. Cruikshank pushes in front, and Boyd is stopped by Lekis. Lekis saw the backhand coming on the doorstep and makes an outstanding save to spoil the shot by Richard Boyd on the backhanded flick. Remains 2-0. 9 shots for UNH, 8 shots for UVM. Massey dumps it on the near side, Esposito. Scrapes the ice on the back foot, now centers up the puck, sends it to the right side, Matt O'Donnell. On the doorstep, Connor O'Neill, senior left-handed shooter. And it's stripped. Numbers for the Wildcats again, 3-on-2. Pass to the right by Blackburn. Now it's in the middle. Shot fired on, it's wide by McKinnon. Will McKinnon from Plymouth, Michigan. The freshman had a nice look. A free puck once again as it's poked out by Charlie Kelleher. The Catamounts backpedal to reset and go back into New Hampshire zone. Midway through the second period, it's 2-0 Catamounts. Through the middle of the ice, a slap shot lined up by Moriarty. Falls right in the lap of Andrew Petrillo, his defense mate. Wildcats transition after the line change. Michael Esposito through the middle as he cranks one off the board. Vermont left to right. Petrillo fires off the board. Loops around to the far side by the Geico side. Now retraced by DeRoche. Petrillo lost the handle. Anthony Wise sets things up for the Wildcats to move right to left. Up ice to Kohei Sato, the Nishi-Tokyo, Japan native. Through center ice, Puffer. A lot of activity in the middle of the ice for the senior from New Canaan, Connecticut, Craig Puffer.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin? I was just going to drive home.
8:49 on the clock here in the second. Clock stops. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching UNH and Vermont on YouTube.
Oh, man. Selfie. Nailed it. Warning signs that let us know that we're probably not going to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious. Craig, come on, man. Split it right home.
Favorite Foods wants to know, what's your favorite food? Favorite Foods wants to know, what's your favorite food?
Hey, I'm Marcus Bell. My favorite food before a big game is a big pasta dinner. It's some garlic bread. Food will be right up right before the game.
Favorite Foods provides quality products, superior service, and innovative solutions to locally owned and operated independent restaurants. Get the independent edge with Favorite Foods. Check out the main board for Wildcats Trivia Question presented by 3 Chili's Inc. All right, who thinks it's A? B? C? D? Let's find out.
So out of the timeout, there is a power play for Vermont. Kohei Sato hit with the penalty. That is assessed on him. So first look at the Vermont Catamounts power play this year. 17%, 1 for 6. Robinson slides over as the puck ricochets off the pipe on the far side right. Blasted back through the middle. Here comes Coughlin. Zips it past to his left. Esposito has a goal today. Recentered by Massey. Slap shot misses wide by the captain, O'Donnell. Almost 8:07 to go now. O'Donnell up top to Massey. Back to O'Donnell. They give and go. Mishandled by Massey. Swings it in deep. Now back underneath the goal. Alvaro has 13 career goals, none yet this year. Loose in front, he fires on his own rebound. In front, Esposito to see the puck sail back to the corner. 54 seconds to go in this Vermont penalty. They're on the power play. Massey sends in Alvaro. Vela pokes it out. Wildcat fans cheer in approval. 30 seconds to go in the power play for the Catamounts. Again, just one conversion this year on 6 chances. And they can patiently wait with a 2-0 lead. Now it's loose in front. Robinson covers it up before there was any chance for another Catamount to zip in and pick at that puck. 6:45 to go. Here's another look at it. At the last moment, you thought another Catamount would scrape in there to beat Robinson. Not counting tonight, the 6'4", 195-pound Bedford, New Hampshire native. Robinson at 211 goals against and a 93.3 save percentage in 3 games. The Wildcats started freshman Ty Taylor in the final game of the 2-game trip at Colorado College. Tampa Bay Lightning 7th round pick Ty Taylor, first year in Durham. Both goals allowed by Robinson tonight in the first period. Centered up by Connor O'Neill. On the puck out, Wildcats connect on it as Pearson sends it up the floor to Aaron Azarian. He is bashed along the board. whistle right in front of the New Hampshire bench. Glenn Stewart returns to the staff after working as an assistant coach last year with Mike Souza. Stewart promoted to associate head coach. He's in his 5th season with the program overall. The Wildcats added Jeff Giuliano to the staff. He spent the last 3 seasons as an assistant coach with the Manchester Monarchs, right down the road from Durham, New Hampshire. A 13-year professional hockey career for Mr. Giuliano, playing for the Los Angeles Kings. He played his college hockey at Boston College, a member of the 2001 National Championship team. He captained the Eagles his senior year during the 2001-2002 season. Good to see Giuliano on staff again. This is all in the aftermath of Dick Umili as the head coach after 28 years. He retired at the end of the 2017-2018 season. The staff now compiled of Souza, Stewart, and Giuliano. Kevin Sneddon for Vermont in his 16th year at the helm in Burlington. Another New Hampshire penalty, this one against Liam Blackburn. It's 25 seconds deep, so power play for the Catamounts, their second chance tonight. Alvaro swings up top to O'Donnell. It's the top line of forwards and the top line of defensemen. Alvaro swings in, bounces off the crossbar, and followed up by Massey. That one clunked right off the top. It zipped right by Robinson's shoulder. 5 minutes to go in the second. Vermont leads New Hampshire on the road 2-0. It's the home opener for UNH, and for both the Catamounts and the Wildcats, it's their Hockey East opener for the 2018-2019 season. Along the near board for Shep. Stomps on the brakes, back pedals out to Gioshvili. Shvili has it back. Gioshvili in the right circle. Eyes up on the puck now. Stripped by Benton Mass. One of the top defensemen in Hockey East last year. Van Riemsdyk out on the ice as he comes and pressures at the blue line. "12 seconds for the Catamounts on the power play. Shot on by Carter Long, and it's batted out by the UNH defense. 2 power plays for Vermont in this second period, and the Wildcats stop both of them. Back up ice, offsides by New Hampshire. As Charlie Kelleher tried to get the extra step on the Catamounts defense in their zone. Charlie Kelleher, the brother of former New Hampshire standout Tyler Kelleher, who was a Hobie Baker Award finalist 2 years ago. Tyler was the co-leading scorer in NCAA Division I hockey, also #1 in the nation in assists. They both crossed over with one another at Longmeadow High School. They went on to win the 2012 Western Massachusetts Division III title. Charlie was a freshman, Tyler was a senior. Cheers out of the crowd as the Wildcats make another stop in front of Mike Robinson. The Catamounts are now out shooting New Hampshire 13-9. On the doorstep, flicked out on the backhand. Nicely done by Robinson to stop Johnny DeRoche. 3 minutes to go in the second. Vermont 2, New Hampshire nothing. Zigzagging move by Ace Cowens. He goes down to the floor. Up the ice to Aaron Nazarian as he plays catch up behind Jake Massey. Era in the corner. Drops off underneath. There was a cutting man for the Wildcats. It was Liam Blackburn. Now Kelleher and Veller apply pressure along the blue line. Cipolone down to one knee, up to his full feet now. Cipolone was pushed down. He opts out to Matt O'Donnell. Now whistled in front. On the center, almost rebound. A chance for Lodermeyer. Robinson not stopped. 14th shot for the Catamounts. Here comes UNH in transition. The push pass was intercepted on the diagonal. Back up the floor for the Wildcats, Angus Cruikshank, the freshman from North Vancouver, British Columbia. Fourth-round selection of the Ottawa Senators in the 2018 NHL entry draft. 1:52 to go. On the loose puck, Sacco almost stuffed it. And off the blast, it remains behind the goal. 2-0 Vermont. Both goals in the first period, Alex Esposito and Joey Cipolo, with their third and second goals of the season, respectively. Wildcats' second line of defense checks in. Gildon and Will McKinnon. Patrick Grasso has his shot deflected right above the left circle. Pushed out to McKinnon. Coming in hard. Cruikshank on the deflection. The Wildcats might have had a rebound chance. Now Grasso fires on. And Alekis blocks it with the top of his pads. Under a minute to go in the second. And we get offsides by Vermont.
Emily Handy, please report to the marketing table.
Here's another look at Robinson's stop. The whistle did blow in wake of that transition play. And we get a timeout for Vermont with 53 seconds to work with. If you are just joining us on YouTube, a timeout for Vermont. UVM leads UNH 2-0. Hockey East opener for both of these programs. Seconds now left in the second. There was a shot for New Hampshire right out of that UVM timeout. The two goals tonight scored by Alex Esposito and Joey Cipolo. It's New Hampshire's home opener, as well as the Hockey East opener for both of these programs. UNH 0-3-1 through their first 4 games of the season. 2 losses at Colgate, and then a loss and tie with Colorado College. Vermont has a win against number 4 Michigan on the road to open up the season, and a loss to Quinnipiac at home in Burlington. 22 seconds. Wildcats stay in the Catamount zone. Aaron Azarian angling through his defender along the corner. Jake Massey and Matt O'Donnell, that defensive pairing has been lethal for the Catamounts, draped all over the Wildcats at good size, 6'2" and 5'10". 2 seconds, 1 second. Benton Nash just skates out the clock. 2 periods in the books in Durham. Vermont 2, UNH 0. We'll be back for third period coverage. You're watching Hockey East on YouTube.
UNH athletics for over 30 years and are annual supporters of the Friends of UNH hockey. How about a round of applause to thank Jay and Marty for their dedication and generosity. To learn more about how you can support the Wildcats, visit www.unhwildcats.com/development. Fan fans,
The Service Credit Union Student Athlete Spotlight shines light on some of the brightest and most talented Wildcats each week. This week, we look at Kyle Wright, a senior from Plymouth, New Hampshire, scored a touchdown on a 55-yard fumble return in the UNH football team's 38-14 loss to number 24 Devil Bear at Wildcat Stadium on October 20th. He finished the game with 2 tackles, including a 7-yard sack. Allie Reynolds, a junior from Weymouth, Massachusetts, scored her third game-winning goal
Welcome back to the Whittemore Center in Durham, New Hampshire. 2-0 Vermont through 2 periods. We are geared up for period number 3. My name is Brendan Glass-Sheen. Thanks for joining us throughout the course of the night. It's the home opener for UNH and the Hockey East opener for both programs, New Hampshire and Vermont. Through 2 periods of play, again, both goals scored in the first by Alex Esposito and Joey Cipollone. Esposito's 3rd of the season, Cipollone's 2nd. Liam Coughlin assisted Esposito's. A correction on the assist, Jake Massey and Derek Lodemeyer with the assists to Joey Cipollone as well. Initially it was just Massey awarded an assist. It goes to both guys, Lodemeyer and Massey. Here are the Wildcats pushing left to right. Rockets off the boards, Anthony Wise. Jump the gun looking for Cruikshank. There's one of the 2 Esposito brothers, Alex Esposito, who scored one of the goals, as we talked about. His brother, Eric Esposito. Apologies, I was referring to him as Michael Esposito, just a error on my end. Eric Esposito, the new Wildcat. He is a freshman, both hail from West Haven, Connecticut. The Esposito brothers competed at the same time at Youngstown in the USHL. Alex played the Wildcats last year and scored a goal here in Durham. More than 90 seconds in. Cruikshank fires on, rather that's Gildon, who misses wide right. 16 shots now for both teams. Gildon centers up, fires, it was deflected from behind, and in the low slot, there is a whistle. A slash against Vermont. So we'll see New Hampshire's power play on for the 2nd time tonight. Penalty is assessed to Vlad Gioshvili, the Moscow, Russia sophomore. New Hampshire on the ice for this power play. Cruikshank, Vela, Blackburn, Boyd, and Nazarian. Vela takes the face-off.
Vermont penalty, on number 10, Vlad Gioshvili. Coming away number 2.
Off the initial face-off, Boyd collects in the neutral area. Taken away by Craig Puffer, who has been very active today. New Canaan, Connecticut, his hometown. He's played in 112 career games. That is the most of any player on the current Catamounts roster. Minute 25 to go in this New Hampshire power play. Kelleher gets bodied up the near end on the cross pass. Wildcats reset, still plenty of time, 1:05 to go in this power play. Along the Catamounts bench, circled around by Pearson. Little give and go, Pearson fires on the move, it's ricocheted out, never hit the goal. Kelleher on the right side, still 35 seconds to go in the chance. Centered up and a save, Lekis. Grasso had a great look, but off the left pad of Lekis, the junior goalie from Elburn, Illinois. 3.5 minutes deep into the 3rd, 2-0 Vermont. Looking to stop New Hampshire's 2nd power play of the night. In the circle, swerved over to Kelleher, he couldn't tape it up. Kelleher regathers, 5 seconds. Kelleher almost lost his footing, dumps underneath the goal, now in front, shot, score! The freshman, Jackson Pearson. there goes the fish. A tradition like no other here at the Whittemore Center in Durham. Here is another look. Kelleher with the dump. Vela flopped it in front, and Pearson buried it. Second goal for the freshman this season from Indianapolis, Jackson Pearson. We have a 2-1 game, 4 minutes into the third period. Pearson, second goal of the season now. Up to 3 points on the year. Pearson with the goal. 15:40 to go in the third.
And number 22, Aaron Nazarian. Time of the goal, 3:50 in the third period.
Here's Eric McAdams on the far side of the ice, twirling in. McAdams loops around the goal and slept it back, but no one on that left doorstep to stick it home. $19 shots for the Wildcats now to Vermont's 17. A crucial 2 Hockey East points on the line here tonight. The other Hockey East game in action tonight, Merrimack and UMass. UMass Lowell is at Bentley. St. Cloud State visiting Northeastern. Catamounts just got a shot. More opening for the Wildcats as Eric Esposito slings one into the gut of Lekis. Latest we've got from Amherst, UMass and Merrimack tied at 2. UMass Lowell and Bentley tied up 1-1 at the end of the first. And at the end of the first in Boston, St. Cloud State leads Northeastern 1-0. St. Cloud State with a terrific start, shutting out Boston College 6-0 on Thursday night. Boston University is also off to an 0-4 start, so it is a tough go for Hockey East in the early part of the season. Earlier today, UConn and Maine skated to a 2-2 draw.
That's A105329. Congratulations if you are our winner.
Still have 14:28 to go in regulation here in Durham, New Hampshire.
Located behind section 120 immediately.
Catamounts and Wildcats had a few battles last year. Both teams that struggled to score the puck and control the puck a year ago, and they're getting contributions out of younger players here tonight. Cipollone and Esposito for Vermont, a freshman and a sophomore respectively, and the Wildcats got a freshman in Jackson Pearson to score their lone goal so far tonight. Two of the bottom scoring teams in Hockey East last year. New Hampshire finished in the bottom right around 9th place at 2.4. Vermont was dead last, 2.25 goals per game. Benton Mass allows for Cruikshank to scooter on by him along the near board by the Vermont bench. On the far side by Gioshvili. Cut across diagonally now. The puck floats and knocks off the ceiling by the catwalk here in the Whittemore Center. High above by the video board that reads Whittemore Center. golden opportunity for the Wildcats of New Hampshire. There is a cross-check penalty against Martin Frechette of Vermont. So he heads to the penalty box. You see him there. Frechette, a sophomore from Ontario. Wildcats' third power play of the night. Scoreless so far this evening. They scored a goal on even strength to get their first of the game, as this one nearly skitters in after Grasso got contact on the puck on the left door. 1:40 to go in the chance. A slapper from up top, loose in front. Grasso had the shot, and now Gildon traces it down for the Wildcats back in their zone. Vermont puts out a new look defensively as they look to kill this power play for the third time tonight. Massey scrapes around the back of the net. Sent back in by the Wildcats. Picked up by Pearson, who does have their lone goal. Kelleher above the circle. Tossed in deep into Grasso. Right back in the hands of Pearson. Passes over to Kelleher. And he looked for Nazarian, who is hanging out downstairs. Under a minute to go in the power play. Charlie Kelleher, the dump. Nazarian back to Kelleher. Shot, save Lekes, and then slapped away. Beautifully done by the captain, Matt O'Donnell. The junior from Mountain Valley, California, showing assertion on the defensive end. 35 seconds in this power play for UNH. Benton Mass gets it to Blackburn. Some frantic skating by the Wildcats as Boyd backpedals out of trouble along the near board. Back out, now at center ice, it's Boyd. Slings into the right circle. Cruikshank fires, and it scrapes off the top of the pads of Lekes. Back in, Vela, the rebound, drops in for a score! The captain, Marcus Vela, comes through with his second goal of his senior campaign. Tied up at 2 in Durham, New Hampshire. The 20th goal of Marcus Vela's UNH career. Wildcats and Catamounts tied up 2-2 in the third period. Both Wildcat goals coming in this third stanza. Here comes Vermont the other way. Blackburn and Benton Mass awarded the assists. So we are 9 minutes into the third here in Durham. Home opener for UNH, also the Hockey East opener for both of these programs. Eric Esposito zigzags and gets a pass into the left wing circle. He may have been tripped up, no penalty. That's the correct call, just some high-flying bodies and aggressive play. Middle of the field, middle of the floor rather, shot by Chris Miller as it zings right by Lekes and company. 10:30 to go, Lekes with another stop. Coughlin drops his shoulder underneath in that back corner. Massey trying to help out as Lekes leaps out of the cage. Spun back in by Verrier. Van Riemsdyk rips it out. In that bottom corner, sweeps it across to Richard Boyd. He trips himself up on his own, and then a Vermont player falls down. Back come the Wildcats through the middle of the ice in the neutral zone. On the other end, Andrew Petrillo, the defenseman for the Catamounts. On the dump in, mishandled pass in transition. Here is Joe Sacco. Middle of the ice, Sato beaten to the spot as DeRoche bodies himself underneath the goal line. They are really putting the trap on here in the corner against Will McKinnon, the second line defenseman, alongside Max Gildon. 9:20 to go in the third, tied up 2-2, UVM and UNH. 2-on-2 the other way, almost slapped in by Eric McAdams. In stride, a beautiful feed to McAdams on the doorstep. And Lekis sacrifices his body on the slide to his left. Shot number 23 for UNH. Vermont sits with 18. Again, if you're just joining us here in Durham, UNH and Vermont getting together for the first time this season in 2018-2019. It is each of these programs' first Hockey East matchup of the season. Vermont scored 2 first-period goals, the first to Alex Esposito, his third of the season. Joey Cipollone, with 19 seconds to go in the opening period, scored his second goal of his Catamounts career. Scoreless second period. Both teams had a couple of power plays in that second, didn't come up with anything. And then here in the third, freshman Jackson Pearson with his second goal of the season. And then Marcus Vela tied the score with the second of 2018-2019 for the senior captain and his 20th goal of his career in 104 games as a Wildcat. After the timeout on the ice, 9:11 to go in the third. UNH and Vermont, they've played numerous battles over the years. Anthony Wise is tied up on the shoelaces, gathered there by Gio Shavili. Ops to the blue line, dumped in by the Catamounts. And it's gathered by Frechette, swings, he gets it back after the deflection. Marcus Vela with the diving pass middle, centered up, and now Vermont can reset in their zone. For the middle of the ice, here comes Misley. Misley dumps it back, he has it on his toe, and he fires wide. Bryce Misley from Toronto, Ontario. 8.5 to go in the third. New Hampshire looking to push the puck out into the neutral area. Vermont wants to capitalize on the road. They did so to open the season at number 4 Michigan, a 5-2 win, a statement for one of the teams picked at the bottom of the Hockey East Conference. 56th season of Catamounts hockey. Their last NCAA championship appearance, last NCAA tournament appearance rather, in 2014. Right through the middle, shot just twines wide. Charlie Kelleher has been in the right spot a few times tonight. O'Donnell lines one up and is saved by Robinson. He has stopped a total of 17 shots. Lekis has stopped 22. Verrier on the swing, the freshman from Reading. Bottled up in Vermont, looks to transition as Alvaro, one of the top forwards, the captain, almost squeezed on it on the doorstep. Now centered up as the Wildcats operate left to right. Will McKinnon and Max Gildon. 7 minutes to go in the third. Winner of this one gets 2 points in Hockey East. The other Hockey East matchup tonight in the conference, UMass and Merrimack tied up 2-2. And we get a whistle on the right side of the ice. Here come the Catamounts right to left. Puffer with the shot. Dangles off the board. Puffer now chases it down on the far side of the ice. And after the player fell, here comes Chris Miller for New Hampshire. Miller centers through on the drop-off. Diagonal pass to Benton Mass. Swings it back. Verrier with the dump in. It might have skimmed off a Wildcat or a Catamount in deep. 6 minutes to go. Line change for New Hampshire. Vlad Gioshvili onto the ice for Vermont. He joins Misley and Frechette. 2-2 is our score. Both tallies for Vermont in the first period. The 2 for the Wildcats here in this third period. The goal scorers tonight, Esposito and Cipollone for Vermont. For New Hampshire, it's Pearson and Vela. 5:20 left. Plowed out by Mike Robinson. Centered up through the neutral zone. Eric McAdams gathers and a save Lekes as he punches it away. Lekes watches one of his top defensemen, Jake Massey, hop on the puck. And blasted to the New Hampshire zone by UVM. When you look at the season series between Vermont and UNH, the Wildcats have a convincing lead. 78-26-10 record against Vermont. The Catamounts, though, do play awfully well at the Whittemore Center. They do have 9 wins out of a possible, I say nice record. They have 9 wins out of 29 meetings. But when you look at it this way, they have 9 wins and 4 draws. That's closer to the 16 New Hampshire wins. Right out in front, shot. Lekes leaps out and makes a save. McKinnon with the laser beam from the high slot. 4:29 on the third period clock. Charlie Kelleher nipped at it for a moment. Lekes just plows the puck out to the far board. 27 shots for New Hampshire, 20 for Vermont. 2 points on the line in Hockey East. Anthony Wise circles around the cage and pushes forward through the neutral zone. 3:40 left. Multiple Catamounts snag the puck away from Aaron Azarian. He leaves the ice. Here comes Liam Coughlin in the left wing circle. Robinson initiates contact to make the stop. Now it's swerved back around up against the board. Plucked at by Esposito of UNH, and then regathered by the Catamounts. Alvaro. Coughlin has his lane shut down as we come up on 3 minutes left. Tied up at 2. Loose on the top. Puffer had the shot. Back in O'Donnell on the goal line. Pushed out by New Hampshire as Alvaro sends it back in. Puffer with the sweep out to O'Donnell. creeping in Christian Evers. And now the Wildcats move in transition with 2:20 to go. Blackburn exits the ice. A new line spills in for UNH. Tied up at 2 in the third. Pass cut off on the far side board by Puffer. He has been everywhere tonight. The senior from Connecticut has been leaping on everything. He is a daunting presence for head coach Kevin Sneddon. One of those defensemen-like or defensive forwards that every good team needs to have. There's Marcus Vella, who has been a terrific defensive forward in his time with UNH. The captain was named New Hampshire's best defensive forward last season. And one of the things Vella does very well at the center position, he directs players well. He does have a lot of responsibility defensively while also being aggressive on the offensive end, being in the right places. Still tied up at 2. In the left wing circle, wrapped around by Grasso, and it's stopped by Lekis. Whistle blows to stop the clock at 1:34 in the third. We stayed tied at 2. Last year, the Catamounts beat the Wildcats on February 9th, 2-1. They also skated to a draw in their 2 meetings in early February here in Durham. Minute 20 to go. Tied up at 2. Connor O'Neill gets spun around by New Hampshire on D. Now it's blocked at along the board and chased after by Will McKinnon. Minute to go in regulation. Tied up 2-2, UNH and UVM. Catamounts back the other way as O'Donnell whips it by DeRoche. DeRoche steals it, throws in front, and a shot wide out of Cowens. Now up top, shot right in the belly of Robinson. That was a slingshot by Christian Evers. He threw it right at the gut of Robinson. 36 seconds to go. Coughlin loses the faceoff for Vermont. Through the middle of the ice, Chris Miller nearly picked off O'Donnell. Up the ice, Vermont. Esposito looking to center. Now he has breathing room in the left circle. Esposito gets spun around. Puck falls in the lap of O'Donnell. 12 seconds. Coughlin up top to Evers. Back to Coughlin. His shot is wide. 4 seconds for the Catamounts. Now at the blue line, nothing for Blackburn. We go to overtime. A late rally by New Hampshire in the third keeps this one alive. A goal from freshman Jackson Pearson and a goal from senior Marcus Vella. We are tied 2-2 in Durham, UNH and Vermont. We'll pause for just a moment and come back with you for overtime. Thanks for watching on YouTube.
Fans, after a brief intermission, we will have a 5-minute sudden death overtime period. Fans bottom of the third inning. World Series play game number 4. We are scoreless.
Welcome back. Overtime underway in Durham, New Hampshire. My name is Brendan Glass-Sheen. Thanks for joining us on YouTube tonight. Hockey East opener for Vermont and New Hampshire. It is also the home opener for the Wildcats under new head coach Mike Souza. Tied at 2. Pushed in there by Carter Long, the freshman from Yorktown, Virginia. Now in front, Grasso clips it out. Here come the Wildcats. Sudden death in overtime. Vela feeds Boyd, slap shot. Pushed out by Lekis, who makes the stop with his right pad. Catamounts retrace the other way. Vlagioshvili has it picked off. Now on the other end. Fired on by McKinnon, the defenseman. Almost cleared in by the Wildcats as Grasso trickled in from behind. On the far side of the ice, it's Anthony Wise awaiting a pass. He does not get it as Vermont makes the strip minute into overtime. Through the middle of the ice. Evers is bottled up. Student section is rocking for New Hampshire. Right behind the goal of Robinson. Here comes Pearson. The freshman has scored tonight already. Dumps in off the board. Kelleher collapses in the corner. 3:30 left. The Wildcats won just one game at home last season in the 2018 portion of their schedule. Kelleher, the crossfeed, shot, score! Benton Mass wins it in overtime for UNH. That touched almost every part of the net for the sophomore from Elk River, Minneapolis, Benton Mass. That is his first goal of the 2018-2019 season for Benton Mass, the 5th of his career in just his 2nd season in Durham. That is a number of firsts for the Wildcats. It is their first win of the 2018-2019 season. It is the first win for Mike Souza as a head coach. It is the first win at home for the Wildcats, and finally, it is the first win for New Hampshire in Hockey East play. That'll do it for us from the Whittemore Center in Durham, New Hampshire. The Wildcats score 3 straight goals to finish the game after UVM led 2-0. Your final score, one more time, UNH 3, Vermont 2, the final in overtime. My name is Brendan Glass-Sheen. Thanks for watching on YouTube TV.
New Hampshire, number 11.